Hi, everybody. Welcome to Live Sessions. We're back. If you were with us
Woo!
previously, we were having technical difficulties, but hopefully we fixed it. Hopefully it's good. So we are on today with Meghanne Storey. I'm so excited to have her on. She's like the greatest story, I think. So I feel like having her on is going to be really impactful to you guys and give you some really awesome like inspiration too. So, Megan, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm glad we figured everything out so you can be on.
Me too. Me too.
Animals. As everybody knows, I have animals and they never listen.
Oh, me
Okay.
too. Me too. Me too. I have a dog in a kennel right next to me. I'm hoping that she'll be quiet.
Yeah, I used to do that when I first got. What's funny, when I first started the show, I got my dog, and everybody would comment on how she was like whining over in the corner, and so eventually I just gave up and would just let her be and be in the show.
Yeah,
So
Hendrix would be in the show. She'd be in my lap. There'd be tongue in the. She's yeah.
yeah, me too, for real. That's how it used to be. All right. Well, I want to get started and see, if you can give us like a really good idea of like how you got into music and how it's been like a part of your life and impactful in your life.
Okay, so my mom says that I could sing before I could talk. I had the entire soundtrack to Jesus Christ Superstar memorized by the time I was 3. I don't actually remember that, but I do know that I've known the words to that soundtrack my whole life. I can't remember ever not knowing the words.
Yeah.
Um, and I still love it. It's a great soundtrack. I mean, musically, it is really spot
Yeah.
on. It's great. If you get an opportunity to listen to any of those songs, man, definitely do. Helen Reddy wrote a song that's in there. It's a great soundtrack. Anyway, enough about that. As I got older, I was a noisemaker. I have a lot of brothers and sisters, and I had a brother that had a band and a sister that did a lot of music, and she had bands, and I was always like trying to be in their band, and they would never let me. And I would always sing the songs that they were singing, and they were like, "Stop singing, you're so annoying." And I'm like, "But I want to sing."
Yeah.
Um, and so, I mean, I've always kind of had music around me. When I was about 5 or 6, I remember having a conversation with my mom. My mom would like strictly only listen to Classic King FM, which I don't
Wow.
know if you remember that station back in the 90s and the early 80s. It was like
Like I
classic
do.
music. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, Vivaldi, the original beat dropper, all day long.
Yeah.
But I was like, I want words. I want music with words. And she was like, well, if you want to sing and you want words, then you better write some words to it. And so I did. I wrote words to Swan Lake and to the Nutcracker and to Peter and the Wolf and all my favorite songs that came on the radio. I wrote words to every single one of them.
That's
um,
amazing.
as
Jeez.
I got, it was pretty funny. I wrote stories, I wrote parodies of things. I've always kind of been, my parents are writers. So
Oh,
like I wasn't getting out of childhood alive without knowing how to write.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then as I got older, I joined, my parents put me in the Seattle Girls Choir, which was actually a huge opportunity. Um, I've always kind of like done music. As soon as I was tall enough to sit at the piano and like sit on the bench and reach the keys, my stepdad started teaching me piano. And when I was probably 4 or 5, I started learning how to play a guitar that only had 3 strings on it. But I was going to learn
Oh,
how to play something on that dang thing.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and my parents had other noisemakers. There was like a tongue drum, and there was a mouth harp, and we had clarinets and recorders all over the house, and flute. And I always wanted to play the flute. I'll get to that. That comes up later. But
Yeah.
as I got older, I joined the Seattle Girls Choir, and I got to do a lot of things with them, and I learned a lot about music and theory and singing in a choir and blending. And I was never very good at blending, but I tried.
Yeah.
The whole
We've
standstill
all been
thing,
there.
not really my stick. I'm not real good at that, but um, we had it was a good time. I had a good run with them. I was in the Seattle Girls Choir for a lot of years. I did a lot of things. I sang in a couple of operas, La Boheme, Les Mis. I was extra. I did another one called Rigoletto, and I got to meet a lot of really cool people and experience different types of music and musical theater on a whole new level. It was actually a really really cool experience. As I got older, I ran into some problems. I was homeless. I was in the state actually first. I was in foster care, and then I was homeless. And I was when I was 14, I got to do this program called Everyone Has a Song. And I went into the studio and I learned how to, write a song in the studio, mix it, master it, record it, produce it, all of that stuff, which was a really cool experience.
Wow.
And then we did a Channel 9 special. There's a video actually that I should send you. It's a video of me. It's a little clip from that interview when I was 14. They asked me, "What do you want your music to say about you when you grow up?" And I was like, I wanted to talk about my story, and I wanted to tell all the things that I've gone through and how I've come out of it. And I was like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I watched that video and I'm just like, oh my goodness, little girl, you have no idea.
Yeah. I would
It's,
love to see that. I would love to be able to add that to your story, your show. That would be
yeah,
amazing.
I'll send
Yeah.
it to you. It's on my Facebook page. I'll send it to you. I have a clip of it.
Cool.
It's hard for me to, I can't really get it. So it's like, it's on Facebook and it's the only place it's at. And I don't know why.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Maybe
No.
if I wasn't so technologically challenged, I could figure out how to download it.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, there's a lot of with the streaming platforms. There's a lot of things that you can't do, and so there's been a lot of like other sources that have been able to make things that can break through those barriers, and so we'll have to talk about it for sure after
Yeah,
this.
yeah, that would be cool. I did that, and then I moved through life. I got a job. I got emancipated. I tried to go to college a few times and failed, and then I finally
Hmm.
did go to college, and it stuck. And I've kind of gone through everything. But music has really been always an outlet for me to know that I'm not alone.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't
No,
usually get emotional when I talk about this stuff. It's been a while. Been a while.
you're
Um,
fine. You're fine.
it's a it's an outlet. It's a way for me to express myself. It's a way for me to know that I'm not alone. I had a counselor when I was about 15 that was like, sit down in my office, Megan. You're always singing. You're always making up these little songs. You play the guitar. Why are you not writing your own songs? He's like, just
Yeah.
make a noise. You too. Listen to you too, with or without you. All they're doing is making a noise. Just make a
Yeah.
noise. And like, I
Yeah.
sat in his office for probably 45 minutes with him playing his guitar, and I made a whole lot of noises, but I didn't write a song that day. But about a week later, I wrote Patience.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And oh, I'm so sorry.
Hey, don't be sorry. That's what this is. It's a community, and we that's why I do it, because musicians have a story behind why they do music and why it's important, and it's cathartic, and I everybody here is this community is really amazing, and don't be sorry. It's okay.
Okay. I think music is a really important part of everything. It allows people to kind of have a break from the day to day. It gives you a distraction. It's a joyful thing. It helps you move. It helps change your emotion. It's a tool. It helps change the atmosphere, the feeling in the room. There's so much that it can do. It's such a powerful thing.
Yes, I agree with that. It really is, and I think that, it also proves that music can, in some ways, heal you and really be a beacon of, you know, uh, a way to get through something dark, or and not to be like cliche, but like a lot of us have, sooner or later, a lot of us have been through something that's pretty heavy, and music, I think, is the for everybody in the world, and maybe not everybody uses it that way, but it definitely, I think, can be a soundtrack for how you get through things. And I think with your story, it's very evident that that is how um, you were able to kind of come up out of it
Oh, it
despite
saved
everything
me.
else. Yeah,
100%. Music saved me. Music
yeah,
saved me.
yeah. And
It
I
totally
think
did.
that's what's the great thing about it, is everybody's like, well, it's universal. Well, yeah, it is, but it's also, like you were saying, with a tool, it's a universal tool for everybody and how they use it. They use it to get away. They use it to, to get like you, like, get your story out. They use it for whatever, grief, however that person decides to use it, it becomes a tool of positivity and a tool to be able to have people really express themselves. And so, through going through all you've been through, I think I would love to hear, and I think it would be really cool to explain, like, in those really hard times, was that where it kind of shined for you, and you kind of had to like really hold on and like it guide you out of wherever you're at.
Definitely a few times. Oh man, I there's been it's definitely I man, there's so many things. There's so many times. There's being homeless in downtown Seattle, right? Like I lived, there was like my home base was a doorway, and I used to go to another place around the corner. There was a Denny's around the corner that it was my other home base. And I just I got to see a lot of things. I got to experience a lot of things. I got to do a lot of things. There were a lot of really horrible things that happened, but I try not to focus on that stuff because it really just made me a stronger person. It just showed me
Yeah,
what I could survive. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, so like I really try to look at like the good things, and I try to focus on the cool stuff that happened. Like
yeah,
I ran away with the circus,
yeah.
and I hitchhiked to New Mexico, and I used to sit outside of the Greyhound station busking, and as a waitress I got to meet at that particular Denny's, I got to meet a lot of different of the Seattle musicians that were active in the 90s. They would come in and hang out at my Denny's and order food to go. Lane Staley had his engagement dinner at my Denny's.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
He lost his
So cool.
engagement ring under the table, and we had to put it in the safe. And then when he came back, I didn't have the safe combination, and it was a time lock. So like I'm standing there looking at him, going, "I'm sorry, you have to come back at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon when the safe opens again."
That's amazing. Oh my God. Could you imagine? Oh my gosh. I couldn't even imagine being like, yeah, so what happened is.
So I found it. It's okay. We found it, but
Yeah,
right. I mean, it's just there's so
that's
many things.
amazing.
It's a really cool there's a really cool community that is in music, and I didn't find the community until I got older. I was very much a
Mhm.
loner as a kid. I was the only real musician that I knew. I knew a lot of like I kind of grew up in the south end of Seattle, so I knew a lot of like hip hop artists and rappers and things like that. And I did a lot of different stuff with them, and I kind of just floated around and did my own thing a lot. When I went to college, though, I studied psychology actually, and I wanted to be a psychologist, like a forensic psychologist. I was like,
Yeah,
I already know how to play music. I don't need to go to school for music. Dumbest decision
yeah,
I ever made. Don't ever say that. Any aspiring musicians out there, if you're thinking about a musical education, do the musical education.
yeah.
Just
I
do it, even if
agree.
you already
I
understand
agree
the
with
lyrics,
that.
because you can always learn something. It's a
Yeah,
vast, deep, very emotional language that has a lot of different little parts and pieces to it. And in order to understand it and speak it fully and fluently, you really need to know how it goes, you
yeah.
know?
Like with any language, yeah, 100%.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
it is, it's a language. It's the language of emotion. It helps you have to learn how to speak it.
yes, I
but it's
completely agree with that.
But it's something that all of us already know how to speak to a certain degree. You know, we all have those songs that speak to us that we kind of hold on to when we're having our dark times, that the things that get us through, the things that when you want to have a good cry, the song you want to listen to, when you want to get up and dance, you've got your cleaning playlist for your kitchen
Yeah.
cleaning. You know, we all have that. And that just kind of, I feel like, goes to show how important music is.
Yes, I agree. What was in your traveling and being able to see different communities of musicians in each place you've been, do you have like a favorite, or do you have a story of like something that happened?
I do, and it's actually a recent story.
Hey, hey,
I
hey.
I absolutely love the Kitsap County musicians community. Those guys out
Yeah.
there are the coolest people. They're like family. they they really get around you and lift you up and help each other out, and I absolutely love it. I had a night where I was at the garage. This was back in November actually of just 2024. And I don't know if you're familiar with the garage in Bremerton.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. So I was there, and my jack on my guitar went out. And I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
crap, I can't plug it in. It's not
Yeah.
working. So like I turned my microphone way up and tried to like position it so that it would pick up my guitar and my vocals.
Yeah.
And I messaged everybody that I knew out in the Bremerton area going, does anybody have an extra microphone?
Yeah.
I need a microphone so I can mic my guitar. It went out. I don't know what to do. I'm super frustrated, but you know what? We're just gonna make it work. And
Yeah.
and and I got a bunch of messages back where there was like, oh, I'm in Silverdale, I'm too far away. Oh my gosh, I'm in Kingston, I'm too far away. And I'm like, dang it, dang it, dang it. Well, I'm just gonna make it work, you know. And I got through it. I went through the first set and I did just great. And then about, I don't know, 5 minutes before I took the break for my sec to start my second set, this guy walks in with a guitar case, and I'm looking at him and I'm like, he looks kind of familiar. And he
Yeah.
comes up to me and he goes, are you Megan? And I'm like, yes, I am. And he goes, hi, my name's Mikey. And I'm like, hi, Mikey, did you bring me a microphone? He goes, yeah, but I brought you a guitar.
Oh, that's
I was like, this is
amazing.
the best. This is the best. I'm like, these guys. And then I took my guitar in. He has a little music shop that he works at out in Port Orchard. Definitely stop in there. Mikey Haslip. Thank you for saving me.
Yeah, no kidding. Thank you, Mikey.
Yeah, and he fixed my guitar, so I'll never have a problem with my jack going out again.
Hey, that's even better.
Right? Right? Best
Right.
situation, best scenario. I love the Kitsap County musicians. I do. But there's a really cool music community in New York too, in like lower Manhattan area. There's a really cool music community out there. It's
Sorry.
very similar to Kitsap, I think.
That's so cool. I love when, it's those kinds of things where it's like a surprise of like who really cares and who really wants to help and who, and not that people that don't come don't care, but it's this cool thing of like reaching out to a community of people where we all have been in some sort of situation like that where your strings break and you don't have any more to replace it, or the jack goes out or your amp blows or whatever, like we've all been there. And or in my case, I was playing sticks and forgot to bring the extra pack and broke it, and so
Ah,
I had to play with like a half of a stick for a little while.
oh my
And so
goodness.
yeah, it was terrible because I had the drumstick, the edge of it, is, I mean, they're sticks, so it's wood, and you're playing with that, and yeah, it's crazy. But I think we've all been to a point where we've needed the community in some way or another to perform, and for that's what I also love about this language and this music that transcends everything, is that we all uh are, especially in Seattle, I feel like, and maybe you can attest to this too, but like in Seattle, there's this real sense of community. It's this like everybody is there for, the same reason, and everybody wants to be heard and everybody wants to play. And so like this, when you try something, or when you like, even for me with like this show, I had so many artists in the beginning be like, yeah, let's do it, this sounds great, and so I just found that like over the last couple of years, I found that that community has just grown to people just really wanting to help, and when musicians like that come through, it means a lot, and restores your faith in this thing we call like music,
Right, right. Because none of us really know what we're doing out here. We're all just trying to figure it
Yeah,
out. There's no real
yeah,
formula. There's no path to follow. There's no set business plan. There's just like
yeah.
trial and error and look at what other people did and see the mistakes they made and don't make those same mistakes.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So let's get into some of your music. So the first song you really were talking about was Patience, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about, or tell us a little bit about that, and like, how you came up with that song?
So Patience is actually a song that I wrote. I wrote it when I was 15. I wrote it for dang it, Megan. I wrote it for Molly McMillan. She ran a receiving home. That a receiving home is a place where like a child who's in the state, it's like a crash pad basically. Like you can go and
Okay.
you can stay there for 3 days at a time, and then you
Okay.
can't go back for 2 weeks
Okay.
because there's rules, right? And I broke a lot of the rules because I couldn't find, there was no foster homes. I bounced from foster home to foster home. I was in some terrible foster homes. I was in one where she locked me in the basement. I was in another one where it was a boys home. And then I was like sleeping in doorways and stuff. And so I went to this receiving home, and I was there 3 days out of the week for several months. I was there. I don't know exactly what the time frame is, to be honest with you, but it was long enough that I got close with her. And she taught me how to make the best scrambled eggs, and she taught me how to make biscuits and gravy, which I love to this day. It's my
Yeah.
favorite. And I wrote a song
Yeah.
for her, hoping that, because I was a kid, right,
Yeah.
that maybe she'd let me stay.
Yeah.
But she couldn't, so it didn't work out that way. But and the song has changed a lot over the years. I've rewritten it. I mean, I was 15 when I first wrote it, so it was very, very childlike at first.
Yeah.
And it's kind of turned into more of like, I know that I'm a difficult person sometimes, but just please have patience for me, is kind
Yeah.
of what it is,
Yeah.
now. So I'm going to play it for you if that's okay.
Yeah. That's
All
a
right.
fantastic.
Let's
Yes.
get to the part where I play the music so I can stop tearing up.
Yeah. It is okay.
And double check my strings. I tuned them before I logged in here, but you never know.
Yes.
And spring hates me, so I apologize for my froggy throat.
Hates me too if it makes you feel any better.
Man, I love it so much. It's one of my favorite seasons. I love the flowers so much, but I don't know. The pollen
Yeah.
is not.
Doesn't agree with me either.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna let her play, and then we'll be back to talk after.
My emotions get in my way sometimes, falling from my lips like a waterfall in springtime. Words that I never meant to say to you always seem to force their way through this hole in my face. So I hope that you can have patience with me tonight. I hope the moon hangs so low in the sky, just like it did that first time that you know. I know that I can be so hard sometimes. Life gets the best of me at the worst times. My sadness clings to everything I touch. Maybe it's a little bit too much for you. So, I'm sorry. Patience with me tonight. These are the moments I feel so lonely, but I know that I am not the only person in this universe who's uttered words they can't reverse. Yeah, you know me. So I hope that you can have patience with me tonight. I hope the moon hangs so low in the sky, just like it did that first time that you yeah, you do. My emotions get in my way sometimes, stuck inside my mouth like they're frozen in time. Words that I always meant to say never seem to find their way into the light of day. So I hope that you can. Thank you. Oh my goodness.
Hey.
Oh, I'm so
Okay.
sorry.
Take a breath. Take a breath. You're okay.
Oh my goodness. I have not had that happen in a long time. There's another song that I sing that I often cry. It's like an 80% chance I'm probably going to choke up and tear up when I play it, but it's not one I wrote. It's actually a John Denver song.
Oh, well, I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah. When I was in fourth grade, my fourth grade teacher, um, was a huge John Denver fan, and she would bring her guitar to school every day, and we would sing John Denver songs like Grandma's Feather Bed and Thank God I'm a Country Boy and Annie's Song and Country Roads and all these other songs. And I'm actually going to give it a minute. I'm not going to sing this one right now because I need to take a
Yeah.
minute. I'm going to sing another one. But
Yeah.
she uh, she got John Denver to come to our school when our school changed. So when the Challenger exploded, Dick Scobie grew up in my hometown, Auburn.
Okay.
And he actually went to Washington Elementary, which was not the school I went to, but they didn't want to change the name of Washington. So they changed North Auburn Elementary to Dick Scobie Elementary. And so my teacher wrote to John Denver and he came out and he sang to our school and he came to our classroom and he jammed and she was like over the moon. I was literally tears, just totally freaking out, so excited. And I'm like, yay, we don't have to do math. Totally lost on me, totally lost experience. But I followed her around for a lot of years trying to find her to tell her how important she was to me. And
Yeah.
then I found out she passed away, and I was so sad about that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's about 80% of the time I choke up when I sing that, but I will sing it. But I'm gonna do another one in the meantime. I'm gonna do a happier one because I have a crush on a guy, and I don't like to tell people that I have crushes on them because that's way too much information and way too vulnerable. So what ends up happening is I just sing my song and sometimes he shows up and sometimes he's there and sometimes he's not there and he probably doesn't have a clue that I have a crush on him. But I sing this song all the time.
Hey, in going into like songs that are, that are emotional, it correlates with this too. The person that I've had a crush on for quite a while, and that I met through doing this show, and I wrote it every time I have to like hear it or listen to it or anything like that. I choke up too because I remember exactly how I felt, and I still know the dude. So it's always like in the back of my mind all the time. So I totally understand. Like it's
This is
it's
just my little
hard.
my little I'm gonna sing about it and I'm not
Yeah.
gonna talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. I unfortunately did say something eventually, but like, because it was just too hard to like. I'd seen him so often, and so, eventually you got to grab some confidence somewhere and have the I don't know whatever to do it. I really didn't. I did it in a letter and gave it to him. So, for me it wasn't anything like
That's
that.
actually not a bad idea. I forgot about the power of the note passing. Everybody
Yeah.
text messages. I'm like, what happened to passing notes? Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
original text. Come
Yes,
on.
exactly. And that's the thing, like I was like, I literally cannot tell. Like I cannot say anything, like it's just so hard for me. And so I call it the Nick Jonas syndrome where you like write songs about it, but you really can't talk about it. And
Bingo.
and so but I could write it down and I mean it was no joke, girl, like 5 pages long. Like I said everything. Like it was ridiculous.
You said it
Um
all. You were like, we're just gonna air all the
I'm
laundry
just
right
gonna
now in
air
this
it out, see
letter.
what happens. Yeah. And but every time I have to play that song, it's definitely like it's still raw, even 5 years later. And so it's just crazy to, have to like bring up all that stuff. And I agree, like it's hard when you're very passionate about the person that you're writing it about, no matter if it's, somebody influential or a crush or whatever, like it still is impactful and it's still there's emotion behind it, and I think that's what makes the music great is there's always emotion behind it and a passion. And so, I don't think you should ever feel sorry for whether it's here or on stage. Like, there's no reason to feel sorry for feeling something that you've written that has that much emotion attached to it. Like, that's awesome. That's what makes it great.
Thank you. Thank
So
you. Thank you. Thank you.
yeah.
It's
So
tough. So I haven't actually choked up over patients in a very, very long time. I wonder about Molly McMillan all the time. And I'm hoping that somebody knows who she is or can say something to her and say, hey, this girl, she keeps talking about you.
yeah.
You should get
Yes.
in touch with her. She was like the
Yeah.
nicest lady. she always like she always like let us like kind of hang out in our room in the mornings and we could watch DuckTales on TV and then the taxi would come and take us to DSHS. But
Yeah.
Molly was good people, very, very good people.
Oh, well, to have a song and all these years later, to impact still that much, I mean, she had to have been, a gem of a human. So, I mean,
She
that's
was absolutely.
amazing. Yeah, amazing. Well, you want to explain your next song?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to play. I have a couple of options here. I have a song I wrote about anxiety that I don't say the word anxiety in. It was more of like I wanted to write about. I like to write about feelings. I like to write
Yeah,
about I like to describe a situation, like between two people. I like to describe. I want to talk about all the things that go along with anxiety and the way I feel about it, but I don't actually want to tell you that I'm dealing with anxiety, right?
yeah, yeah,
I want to talk about having a crush on somebody and all the ways that I feel when I see that person, but I don't want to say that, oh yeah, this is a crush song.
yeah,
Or I have one about chasing dreams that I definitely talk about chasing dreams in because that's like
yeah,
the core of who I am as a human being, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. 100%.
you can't
Yeah,
you can't not chase your dreams because the second you stop chasing your dreams, that's the very second you give up on your dreams.
exactly.
And that's giving up on yourself.
100%. Yes. And you deny a part of yourself that was, meant to be part of your story.
Maybe I'll play that one.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll play Chasing Dreams.
Okay.
Some days I wonder why I tried. Some days I hide inside and cry. And then I lie to myself and the world and say, yeah, I'm okay, just a girl. Life is so hard, and I want to scream. Why can't I just chase my dreams? Some days I wish I could leave. Fly far away across the sea. And then I lie to myself and the world. I say, yeah, I'm okay, just a girl. But life is so hard, and I want to scream. Why can't we just chase our dreams? And I sing so I don't kill you, man. And I write so that I can still plan. And then I chase all my dreams across all these seas. Nothing, no, nothing can stop me until I lie to myself and the world and say, yeah, I'm okay, just a girl. And life is so hard, I want to scream. I want to just chase my dreams. Why lie to myself and the world and say, yeah, I'm okay, just a girl. When I chase all my dreams across all these seas, nothing, no, nothing can stop me. Nothing, no, nothing can stop me. Thank you.
I love that song. That
Thank you.
has great lyrics.
Thank you.
Love it.
That's one of my newer ones. I just wrote that one about 3 weeks ago.
Hey, I love that even more. Very new.
I've been working on. I wrote a song yesterday. I'm really excited about it. It's called Elysium, but it's not done yet, so I can't. And it's a piano
Ah,
song. It actually goes with my Wicked Paradox project with Raymond Hayden. So I have two different projects. Also, I have my solo project where I work with Lynn Sorensen and Doug McGrew is my drummer, and you'll see me and Doug out performing as a duo all the time. But we have a full band, and my son actually plays in my band. He plays ukulele, and then Lynn
that's
plays
so
bass and he also produces us. And then Doug is my drummer and my cohort and my co-noise maker and my buddy and my friend. And yeah.
yeah.
And then I have Wicked Paradox, and Wicked Paradox is with Raymond Hayden, who is my other bestie, like family. He adopted me. I love him. He and I met because I won Up and Coming Artist of the Year at the first Washington State Independent Music Awards, and he won Local Legend. And I was like, oh no, we got to write a song together. And we
Yeah.
did. And then five more songs. And I'm like, okay, this is becoming a habit. I don't think I'm ever going to stop collaborating with you. And the next thing I know, we're a full-on duo and we're getting ready to play some shows, and we're going to be at the Real Art next Friday on the 13th. I'm very excited about that show.
Go check that out, guys. Oh my God, that's cool. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's amazing. So it's like it's really cool because the two projects are like totally separate, but everybody
Yeah,
knows each other and like we all get to hang out and do cool stuff together. And
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah,
really cool. It's a lot of
yeah.
fun.
And see, that's what I'm talking about. Like music just, and you end up like meeting the cool people and just like people that vibe with you to be able to make music and can be two heads are better than one. And, this whole thing of like being able to make it this uh like great journey for everybody. Like I just love it so much. Like I also have a friend that I met in 2020, and her and I have written so many songs, and I don't know where I would be without her. Like I can't imagine not writing music with her.
Right? I feel that way about Raymond. Like Raymond and I have such good musical chemistry together. It's just like the stuff we write. We've written Lemons. We have an EP that actually comes out next Friday on the 6th.
Hey, that's
And we
amazing.
did a cover of Silent Lucidity and it got played on KISW. And like there's just I'm so over the moon about that. And I'm like loud and local. I'm there. That's so
Yes,
cool. Loud and local. I grew up listening to that.
yes, me too. Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
to be on the radio is amazing. Like that's a huge accomplishment, man.
Oh
Like
my gosh,
really.
yeah, mainstream radio, and we get internet radio. There's another radio station called Music Mafia Radio that plays. It plays a lot.
Oh,
Can you hear me now?
yes, I can hear you. I was like, ah.
I'm gonna have to put on Do Not Disturb. I thought I did that, and it did not do that on my phone. I missed. Sorry.
That's okay. It's happened to me while I've been live on the show, so it's all good.
Okay, cool. I the thing with the music community is so funny because growing up I was always the only musician that I knew and I drove everybody crazy. Like my friends, they're like, "Oh yeah, Megan likes this song," and like I'm still really close with a lot of the people that I grew up with because
Yeah,
you create a family, and we'll go into that more in part two. But
yeah.
you create a family, and like so there's a lot of people that I'm still very close with, including the manager of that Denny's that I was at.
Wow,
He changed my life. He did. He changed my life.
wow.
Patrick is a big one, but I'm not going to talk about that right now because it's just going to make me cry. um,
There's so
but
much to talk about in
having a
part two.
community now and like having all these people that I can talk to that understand, they understand. It's like I'm not the odd man out anymore, and
Yeah,
it's so comforting to just have like your people around you, and be able to
yes,
communicate and have friends and know, it's like I have all these cool freelance coworkers.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think that's what, what really drew me to do this podcast and this show to begin with is I knew so many musicians and I didn't feel as though I fit anywhere else but with that community and live music, and everybody was like, "Oh, you go out every night and you do all this stuff and you go see music and blah blah blah." And for me, it was just the music. It was I just would go and sit. I wouldn't even drink. I'm not even a drinker. Like I would just go and
Me
sit and
either.
have a coke and listen. And so it really was awesome when I started this to be able to go places where I'm meeting musicians and people of like mind and being able to um you know just be in that community where I felt like I wasn't a part of anything, and it just made me feel a part of something finally, where I found my people, you know?
Yes, yes. That's so funny because that is exactly what I said to myself when I walked in the doors at the Washington State Independent Music Awards the first time. I walked in there and I was like, I was so nervous because I never,
Yeah.
they're like, it's a formal event and you have to dress up. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to dress up in Megan style because that's
Yeah.
how I do,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I never really fit in a formal atmosphere. So I was really, really nervous. But as soon as I walked in there and I took a look around, I was like, oh my God, these are my people. And I
Yeah, they
love it.
teach
I think
you.
it's just the best party. And I love the fact
Yeah.
that we can support each other and celebrate each other. And, just
Exactly.
I love the awards. I think all the awards are so great. I know the Washington State Blues Association is doing awards right now. And I see that some of my friends have been nominated for things like my friend
So
Brian
cool.
Price, Scotty
Yeah.
Harris. Great job, you guys. I'm super excited for you guys on that. Like, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, they have the Seattle, it's like the CMAs but country for Seattle, and they
Yes.
had that, and my best friend was nominated like 3 times for her song and her
Oh,
music.
that's so cool.
And then
Congratulations.
yeah, and then she ended up not winning anything, but she got to play. And then my other best friend from high school, he's the one who did introduce me to the other girl that got all the awards and that I co-write with. And so he was a drummer for her, or is a drummer for her, and he was also nominated too. So it was really cool to like see the two people I just love dearly in this whole thing be able to be recognized. And so
Yes.
oh my gosh, it changes your life. Like it's to be able to see people that you know and people that you love, and they're just living their passion, be recognized for things, or if you are, like, it's amazing. It's the coolest thing.
This last time I won an award. Well, Wicked Paradox won an award for best pop song, which kind of surprised me because I never really considered myself pop music. And I
Yeah.
never considered Wicked Paradox pop music, but I could see it, I can see it. I'm like, that's a really interesting one. Even when the nomination came up, I was like, best pop song? Okay. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. You're like, all right, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. That's a weird one, but okay. And then we won best pop song, and then
Fantastic.
I won best solo artist. I was like,
Dude.
man, when they called my name for that, I was like, I
Ah,
expletive, insert expletive here. I
yeah.
didn't, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a big fan of the F word. It's probably my favorite word. And
Oh,
I
me
was
too.
like, and that's all I could say. I was just like, what the
Yeah.
heck?
Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
how is this happening? Like, this is not real. This is not, it took me like 3 weeks of sitting on it before I was like, okay, I, 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 I am going to accept this because I just cannot wrap my head around it. I don't understand it. I don't get it, but I am
Ah,
so thankful for it and so blown away, and just like the support just like really kind of like it lets me know that I'm doing the right thing.
yeah. And that's where, the effort of coming out of everything you've been through becomes you're like, man, it wasn't all for nothing. Like, and not everybody needs an award, and maybe you don't either, but I think for me, it would be like, man, I worked so hard at this, and I came out of all of what I've been through in my life to get to this point, and to be able to have somebody else see that to enough to give an award is amazing. I mean, that's
That's
awesome.
actually a really good point that I hadn't thought of. That's a very good way to look at it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Because it was really, I just was like, how did I end up with this? Like, what?
yeah. Yeah, I would too. If somebody ever did that with the show, I would too. I would, or any song, I would too. I would be like, what the heck, man? But at the same token, it's like, man, I've put so much effort into getting myself to a point where somebody could even put me on that list, and that not that everybody wants a Grammy or everybody, those are always the things that people strive for to be able to have in your resume, but like for people like you and I who have been through quite a lot in our life, it's like, man, that's so cool that somebody recognizes that I've gotten to hard work to this point and had to overcome a lot, And so I think that's amazing. That's just awesome. And congratulations, honestly.
Thank you. It was a pretty cool moment. It was. It was a pretty cool moment. I'm kind of like, I have a little shelf for my awards, and I'm like, this is cool. I've got a
Yeah.
few awards. That's cool. But my goal is stages, and the stage that I
Yeah.
want is Madison Square Garden. And I say it all the
Oh,
time, I'm like Madison Square Garden or bust. And
yeah.
I've gone to New York, and I've taken pictures in front of Madison Square Garden, and I've played music
Yeah.
in the subway in front of the Madison Square Garden sign. But I have
Hey,
not been to Madison Square Garden, and I know in the bottom of my heart that someday I will stand on that stage.
dude, you will. You
I
will.
know I will. I know
There's
I
this
will.
like drive. You'll get it for sure. And I cannot wait to see that. I will be there front and center.
Yay! I'm so
I
excited.
will I've never
I will
been to New
remember
York,
that.
but I will fly just for that.
Oh man, I hate flying. I feel you on that one. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah. Not a fan.
Not at all. Well, do you want
Yeah.
me? I'm gonna play next to you for you guys if that's okay.
That's fantastic. I was just gonna say, can you give us another one? Because I'm just having too much fun.
Yes, yes, I can. I can play. I want to play my song that I wrote for my crush.
Yes, 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 yes.
I see you seeing me as I am standing here, and I wish you would stand next to me. I know it's hard, don't wanna go too far, but I wish you would stand next to me. Why is it confusing? Why don't I understand? Why do I complicate things when there's no plan? I see you knowing me, learning my quirks, and I wish you would stand next to me. I see your smile in your eyes, and I wish you would stand next to me. Why is it confusing? Why don't I understand? Why do I complicate things when there's no plan? Oh, oh. I wish you would stand next to me. Why is it confusing? Why don't I understand? Why do I complicate things when there's no plan? I see you seeing me as I am standing here, And I wish you would stand next to me.
Yay!
Thank you.
I need a clap track. Like a somebody to like they have on like a radio or whatever where you can just press the button, it goes yay.
Yes,
Need one
yes,
of those.
yes. I love that. I was at a karaoke place where we were doing karaoke judging, and the karaoke host had a clap track, and he was putting on the big for
Yeah.
everybody afterward. I'm like, that's so cool.
I gotta get cool like that and have one. I keep saying it, and I haven't found one to do that yet. So I gotta figure that out so I can be like, yay! I try and do it. There was my friend one day. She came on the show just cause, and she was like, you gotta go like this, like so it sounds like it's a million people
Oh, I mean,
screaming.
that's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it sounds like there's like a whole bunch. I love it.
I love it. I
Um,
love it.
well, I want to ask, does the person that you wrote that song about, you still know him, you said? Do you
Oh,
still know
yeah.
the person? Yeah? And
Oh,
they're
yeah.
kind of like involved in your life?
Kinda.
Kinda, yeah. Um, so when you sat down to write that, was it like just flowed out or,
Yep.
because of the feeling? Yeah?
Nope, it just
Oh,
flowed
yeah.
out. I found the chords, and I was talking to my mom on the phone one day, and I'm like, I really like these chords. I think I'm gonna write a song. And she's like, well, you can go ahead and write a song about it. That's kind of what you do. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna write a song. Let me call you back. And I hung up and I wrote the song, and then I called her back like 20 minutes later, and I'm like, okay, I got it. And she goes, well, that was fast.
That's how mine did too. That's why I was curious because when you like it seems like if you like someone or there's this like huge internal like love, it just feels like it comes so I've written four songs about a guy and it just was so quick. It was so crazy. Like anything else I try to write, I'm like, I don't know if that sounds good. All right, I'm gonna go with that, or whatever. But with those, it was like instant.
I like those. I call them self-writing songs.
Yes, that's a good way to put
They
it.
were just waiting for me. They were just waiting
Mhm.
for somebody to grab them. Anybody could have written them. They just were waiting for the right inspiration to come along, and I just happened to be the person that was like, I'm going to tune into that channel right now and write that.
Mhm. That is so true. I feel like that is exactly what it is because you're like tapping into, whatever you sit down, it's the right moment or the right like
It's
place.
like a
One of the
stream of
songs,
consciousness,
yes,
Yeah.
and it like overtakes. And have you ever written in like an odd place, like where you had to like have a
All the
napkin
time.
or you know something like that?
I'm the girl that will pull the car over to the shoulder of the road because I'm inspired by something, and if I don't write it down, I'll forget it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I did. That's one of the songs I wrote. I wrote it. I'm driving from Tacoma to, in the pouring rain, driving from Tacoma to Redmond, where I lived. The
Ooh.
guy that I was in love with was in Tacoma, and this is 20 years ago. And so I wrote at the time I had like those cool like window writers that people used to have back then, like it kind of was like chalk almost. And I just wrote all over my window and like tried to get it all out in my window as I'm driving. Like
That's such a great idea. My parents were reporters, right? So I had like all of these they're like these little rectangle notepads,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah,
reporter pads. I have tons of those things. When they moved out of their house, they were like, we don't know what to do with these. And I'm like, well, I know what to do with them. So I took them, and
yeah,
I used to stop and pull over. Now I use my notes on my phone, but
yeah.
man, I
Me
I
too.
have so
Yeah.
many boxes of little reporter pads and spiral notebooks full of writing.
Yeah, the spiral notebooks was like before the notes on the phone. That's what
Yep.
I have I have a whole box full of just like
Yep,
spiral
me
notebooks.
too. Me too. Just spiral notebooks. I'm like, there's probably like 500 spiral notebooks in there. And I'm like, one of these days I'm going to go through it and see if there's anything
Good.
good,
Yeah.
but it's so daunting. I
Good.
look at it, and the ADHD in me is like, nope, not today. Not today. Not today. That's not a project for today.
Yeah, it's so funny because my anxiety does that. It's like, no, we ain't touching that today. That's not happening.
Yeah, but
Just
it's now been
try
in a
to.
box for like 25 years, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, eventually I gotta take all those out. It's a box full of spiral notebooks from when I moved out of my last group home.
Oh man, I bet you got good stuff in there, man. I
I
would.
probably do. I don't know. I wrote so much as a kid. I mean, I wrote all the time. I was always
Yeah.
writing. Sometimes I was just writing a stream of consciousness. Other
Yeah.
times I was writing poems. I wrote songs. I have a book of poems that I published last year. I published it. And I have another one coming out. I don't know when. I'm waiting on editing stuff to get figured out, but
Jeez, you're just so cool. I love that.
Um,
It's
I just
amazing.
do, I've got all these poems sitting around, and I'm like, this didn't make the cut to make it into a song. What am I going to do with it? Well, probably
Yeah.
write a book. And I
Yeah.
thought it would be cool to like take the poem that I originally wrote and then put the song lyrics next to it and then put them together into like something, so that people could
Yeah.
see like the process of how it all kind of goes.
Yeah. The beginning and the end.
Yeah,
you know? Oh my God, that would be so cool.
I think that
I
would be
love
really
that.
cool.
That's awesome. I actually just found in a box, like random box, that I was looking for something else, the original lyrics to the very first song I ever wrote. And the tape deck that I had like pressed record and recorded it on.
Oh, that's so great. I wish I had that
I
stuff.
was like, I don't know,
I
17 or something.
Oh man, I wish I had that stuff. I really wish I did.
Yeah, it was pretty. It was so random. Why it was in that box, I don't know. But I've moved so much that I just kept putting stuff just in things, and so I was just like shocked of like, shit, I haven't seen this since almost 20 years ago, like 30 years ago. Like it's crazy.
That's so
So
funny. Oh my goodness.
yeah, to look
It
back.
makes me want to go.
Yeah, dude. Ah, somebody called again. We'll see if she comes back.
Oh, yeah,
There we
I'm
go.
back. I'm gonna put this on Do Not Disturb for part two.
Okay, it's fine. Well, speaking of part two, everybody, so we are going to do, I'm going to have her on the podcast, the Local Music Scene with Kara Jean, and she's going to tell and go in more in depth into some of the stories that she's been telling here. And so look for that. But I am so excited because the story is just fantastic, as you've heard, and I have so many questions and I want to know more. So, as we're closing out here, be sure to check her out on Instagram and all the platforms for her music. And do you have anything else you want to like add and have anybody go to?
Oh man, I would love to just add, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. To everybody, make sure you hit the subscribe button for the local music scene because this is
Yeah,
cool. And I really enjoyed talking with you, and I'm looking forward to getting more into depth into my story. But I
yeah,
think that the most important thing and the most important message that people could pick up from any of this today is don't give up.
yes, yeah, 100%.
The
And I think
second you give
music.
up, it's
Yeah,
done.
music can be a hard thing to follow, and it can really bring you to a point of where you want to give it up. But I would agree, like don't ever give it up. Like it's not, no matter what facet you go through with it, whether you're behind the scenes, in front of it, you're the musician on stage, it doesn't really matter. It's it's a passion and it's a love of if you have that love, and just don't let it go because it's something that not everybody gets or has, and it's definitely something that I think a gift that everybody should feel comfortable sharing with the world. So please
Oh,
don't.
I believe that. Oh my gosh, I've gotten in so many arguments with people about music is a gift that I was given. It is my obligation to share it.
Yes, that's what I believe as well. So, with
Yes.
that, everybody, please, from the two of us, please continue to follow your passion and your love with music. And please be sure to follow her. And if you have questions, you can DM her or anything. But also look out for part two because it's going to be fantastic and amazing. And I'm so excited for you guys to see that. So, look out for that. And we will see you soon. Thank you so much for coming on, and thank you everybody that joined us live. Have a
Thank you.
great
Thank
day.
you. Have a great day.